Grab a beer and pull up a chair. Welcome to the Northwoods Beer Guy podcast. All right, so here we are at our third and final stop on our Cedar Falls / Waterloo beer extravaganza. We are at Single Speed Brewing in Cedar Falls. And from the information that we looked at, it's they started with a 3-barrel system, and then in November of 2016, they moved up to a 20-barrel system. It's a pretty good-sized brewery, and it's in a historic building. It was part of the Wonder Bread, and on the outside of the building, it still says
Hostess Cakes.
Hostess Cakes, yeah.
Yeah.
And when you looked in the window, it was full of barrel aging barrels, and it's like that. I don't think they put Wonder Bread or Hostess Cakes in those barrels. So
it's like the place we need to go to.
Exactly. Here we are. This is our, like I said, our third stop here, and we've got kind of an interesting selection of beers. Their flights that they have are 4 per flight.
Yep. And
we have, well, it looks like 5 dark beers and then 3 lighter beers. So we'll see how this goes. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. So the first one I think we'll go with, Jim, is the Party Town Pils.
Sounds good.
It's an American Pilsner, 23 IBUs and 4.5%.
Okay.
Their description is passion, integrity, discipline. When striving for excellence, whether it be on a brewhouse floor or a sheet of ice, these are pillars of success. We take the creation of each batch of beer just as seriously as the Blackhawks take their annual quest for the Clark Cup. Every batch, every season, all in.
Wow, okay.
So I'm guessing the Blackhawks must be a minor league hockey team is what I'm guessing. So
right, well, is it the Chicago Blackhawks?
I'm thinking it might be like their farm club. So kind of an interesting, I did not know that they were here. Oh, that's got good aroma to it. Way more than I thought it would have.
Wow, I smell some hops.
Well, I mean, the flavor is not that hoppy, though. The smell is more hoppy.
For a Pilsner, that's different.
It surprised me because, like I said,
it didn't say anything about hops in there, did it?
No, it does not. So that's what, like I said, when I first smelled it, I smelled the hops right off the bat. And I was like, whoa, this is going to be hoppy. But then you taste it, and there's not that hoppy.
Right. It's not, I mean, for me, because I'm not the hop guy,
correct. Yep.
I can taste them right away. So, I mean, but it is not overpowering hoppy.
Right. That's what I was going to say.
It's a smoother hop.
The smell, I thought it was going to be overpowering.
Right. That catches you off guard.
Correct. And it was like, that's kind of weird, you know?
It is not bad. It's not
bad.
Again, if you're not an IPA or a hoppy type drinker, you could probably still drink this because it's not that bad. But if you're looking for something, this doesn't taste like a real Pilsner to me.
Right.
That's where it's a little bit different. It says it's one thing, but it tastes like a little bit something different.
Kind of a weird thing because Pilsners are typically not that hoppy of an aroma. And like I said, the flavor, if you didn't smell it, you just taste it, it tastes like a Pilsner.
Right.
But the aroma threw me off because, like I said, I was expecting it to be really hoppy. It's a little like false advertising.
Right. That's where
a little bit.
Right. So, I mean, I don't know if I'd rate it super high only because you think you're going to you order a Pilsner, that's what you want, but then you're going to be getting something a little more hoppy. So,
right.
And that's where it's a little hard to rate it too high.
Yeah. And it's not offensive at all. Like I said, the flavor is what you would expect for a Pilsner. An American Pilsner.
Right. Yep.
I don't know. Like I said, I don't mind it, but I don't know. Like I said, I kind of knock it down a little bit just because it smelled so hoppy, and then that wasn't in the flavor.
Right. So what are you thinking?
Boy, I'm thinking 2.4, 2.5. I mean, average.
That's what I'm thinking too. I mean, again, it's not bad.
Correct.
But when you're expecting one thing, and then they kind of, because maybe that's in there, but they just didn't write it in their write-up, but it does have more of a hoppy flavor and aroma than what a normal Pilsner would.
Correct.
So, but it does have flavor. So.
It has flavor. And like I said, it's not bad at all. But when you smell that, and it's like, ooh, that's going to be hoppy, and then you taste it, and there's like no hops at all to it, it was like, well, where'd the hops go? So, and again, like I said, I don't think it's a bad beer, but I was expecting one thing, and it kind of got another. So.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. Well, so that was our first one.
And appearance-wise, it looked like a Pilsner. I mean, that classic yellowish color.
Clear. Yep, you can see right through the glass.
You can see right through the glass. So the next one we have is Two Cows. And they don't have a big write-up on this one. It kind of is interesting. It just says it's a cocoa espresso milk stout. So it is definitely a dark beer.
Yes.
Can't see through the glass at all. Ooh, that smells pretty good. I'm not going to lie. And we actually have two other, I wonder if we should save this to go with the other two variants.
It's up to you, buddy. We can
Should
do that.
we do that? I mean, so then we're going to, I apologize there, folks. We're going to save that with this here. So we're going to switch gears, and this is going to be Coconut Migration.
Coconut Migration.
I apologize. It's an American double IPA rested on toasted coconut. It looks like a hazy
It looks
IPA
hazy.
is what it looks like. It's got, just a little bit of really kind of a white head on it. Not a lot of head.
Orangish to yellowish color.
75 IBUs. So it's up there. This will be the hoppiest beer we've had on this trip. And it's 7.4%. So it shouldn't be too terrible.
Yeah, and again, I hope you're not looking for a high score for me, because I may not. This is one of those, if it's got a lot of hops.
I know this is not in your wheelhouse, but we're going to see what happens.
All right, my fingers are crossed.
The coconut comes through.
I don't smell the hops.
No.
There's no hop smell.
I think you're going to be surprised. This is not a bad beer at all. I get more coconut flavor than
they did the
hops.
right coconut. I think for an IPA, they did it the right way.
Well, and being a double IPA, typically those are a lot hoppier. I don't get...
this does not taste like an IPA to me.
No.
At all. I am very surprised.
I totally get the toasted coconut.
And what's good, the coconut is not over the top.
Right.
But they have enough in there to balance out the hops, to take over that hop flavor. It's that bitter. You don't taste that bitterness.
Yep.
But the coconuts are just sweet enough and just have the right flavor. See the smell. This is...
It's shocking. My opinion is shocking.
I was going to say one of the best beers we may have had. It may be better than ones we've had so far today.
I think so.
Because it's smooth. The finish is good. There's no bad aftertaste.
It's kind of crazy.
I would actually go back and get another bigger glass of this just by how good it tastes. And for me, have it go for a double IPA.
I'm glad I'm sitting down, because either you're really, really drunk, or this is a really good beer, and I think it's a really good beer because, like I said, there's the hop bite is not for 75 IBUs. It should be really a hoppier flavor, and it is not. And that coconut comes through just almost like you said, like a right level. It is shocking.
Well, what's weird, and again, IBUs are based on the brewmaster's
international bitterness units.
Yep. But I don't know how they can even put 75 on. I don't think this is a 75 IBU. This is not, in my opinion, the ones we've had, this should not be. And I think you might be scaring people away by having 75 IBU.
It could be.
This is actually...
Going into it, you were worried about it.
Oh,
yeah. And this is crazy good.
This is really good. One of the better beers we've had this weekend.
I'm blown away by the level of coconut.
This for me might be in the 4 range.
I agree. We've had a lot of other coconut beers, and either you can't taste the coconut, or it's way over the top where you're like, oh my gosh, that's some crazy coconut.
It's just like you're pulling it out of your teeth.
And this one is like almost a perfect level.
Perfect balance.
Dude, I'm totally with you on a 4. This is probably right now, before we taste any of the other beers of theirs, this is the best beer we've had this weekend.
Oh, without a doubt.
And that is crazy.
And this is the Coconut Migration.
This is the Coconut Migration American Double IPA rested on toasted coconut. Wow. That is amazing.
I'm giving that 4 stars. That's a good beer, buddy.
That is
without a doubt.
Yep.
And I would have to put out there too. If you're not an IPA drinker, this is one that you could actually, because I am totally not an IPA drinker, but you could drink this.
Even if you're an IPA drinker, but you've never had a double IPA, you could drink this and you would love it. Yep. Because, like I said, it's not that over the top hoppy.
It doesn't even smell hoppy.
No.
It does not smell like an IPA beer at all.
It is crazy.
Kudos to the brewmaster on that.
Very much so. Yes, we applaud the brewmaster on this one, because that is crazy. I can't wait to try these other beers now, because
that's only our second one.
That's only our second one here. So the next one,
we're starting off good.
Yes. It can only go up. Well, it could go down, but I'm hoping it goes up from here. But that was amazing. The next one we have is Tricycle. It's a cream ale, 32 IBUs, so it's going to be lower, and it is 5.2%.
Okay.
And let's see what their description is. Resting upon a set of 3 wheels, Each with a different stylistic dream sits this hybrid of an ale. Wheel number 1 romanticizes about the creation of a cream ale. Wheel number 2 is captivated by thoughts of an honest pale ale, while wheel 3 longs for a foundation rooted in wheat. A few revolutions later, they peacefully meet at the center of the room, and Tricycle is formed. Working together, balanced by just enough hop character to remain upright, they roll Tricycle to a slightly sweet and citrusy state. Right on.
Wow. That's a lot. That's a lot.
So it's a lot.
I think their biggest write-up for any of their beers.
Yeah, so far it is. And it looks like, it's your very clear, your normal beer color, kind of like a golden color.
For sure. Ale.
Yeah. So the head, it's pretty much white. No, not a whole lot of head, but of course we can't really say it because they're taster glasses that we're trying. So you got to think of that too. But
so I don't think we've had a cream ale yet on this trip, so this would be a good try for us.
Interesting. You definitely, it is a, cream ales are typically a little bit smoother on the mouthfeel, and it is that.
Not a lot of flavor though.
No, I was going to say, it definitely pales in comparison to the Coconut Migration. This would be one of those,
it might be a good
lawnmower type beer.
Lawnmower beer,
where if it's hot out and it's ice cold, ituld be really good. But
what's the ABV on this again?
It is 5.2%.
Okay, so it's good. You could probably do a 6-pack of this if it was cold on a hot day.
Definitely.
There's no bad aftertaste.
There's not a bad aftertaste. There's not a lot of taste overall.
It's, again, one of those, it's kind of, I can see my hand there. It's really light in color.
Very light. Again, this would be something where if you're normally like a Miller Lite, Bud Light, Coors Light kind of a drinker, that's the ones this would be one that you could move into a craft style beer.
Yep.
It's a cream ale, so it's a little different style.
Right.
But the flavor is very mellow.
Right. If you're just stepping out and wanting to try from one of your mainstream beers, this would be one you could.
This would be a good one that you could move into, and I don't think it would offend anybody.
No, I think this is unfortunately, middle of the road.
Right.
If you're a craft beer drinker, this is probably not in your wheelhouse because it's too middle of the road.
Yep.
But if you want to have a cold beer on a hot day, I think this would be right where you're looking.
I agree. For a score, what are you thinking? Like a 2.5?
Yeah, that's unfortunately just because I think we like a little more flavor.
Right.
And this, it's not bad. There's no bad flavor, but there isn't flavor.
Correct. And I agree 100% with you. Like I said, and I didn't know, going into, typically your cream ales are a mellower, and that's what that was.
Yeah. But just a little more flavor would have been.
A little more flavor would have been
something.
Just something. Yep. Yes. The fourth and final one in our first flight here at Single Speed Brewing is Zach's Mexican Donuts.
Kind of intriguing title.
A spiced oatmeal stout.
Nice.
This would be interesting because I don't think we've had a spiced oatmeal stout before.
Not a spiced.
Yeah, so it's 20 IBUs. So, what you'd figure a stout would be 5.6%. Their description says flavor upon flavor upon flavor. So a lot of flavor.
Very good.
Delicately layered into glassware. Locally roasted coffee, Sidecar Coffee Roasters. So I'm guessing that's a coffee producer. Ecuadorian cacao nibs, vanilla bean, and a spice blend transform this standard take on the stout style into a fully blown, life-altering experience.
All right.
A Single Speed de los Muertos Tradiciono. I'm guessing Day of the Dead tradition.
There you go. Well, it's hyped itself up. So
let's see what a spiced oatmeal stout is.
It's hyped itself up, and we're willing to try it. So hopefully that everybody out there listening we'll take the first step for you.
There you go. You can definitely smell the coffee. The aroma is definitely coffee.
But I was hoping when it said donuts, bring something out that way. Ooh, there's a coffee aroma.
My opinion, that is good. The smell of the coffee is stronger than the taste. You can taste the coffee.
But it's not over the top.
It's not over the top, but I think that's a very good beer.
Wow.
It's almost like
it's very surprising.
It's kind of like the Coconut Migration, where you said it's almost a perfect level of coconut. This is almost the perfect level of coffee, my opinion.
Well, and what's weird is they have the aroma of a lot of coffee, but the taste is not the same value. So it's really, I think, a very good job. What is weird, he came up with the title of Zach's Mexican Donuts.
Is Zach the brewmaster?
Yeah, well, that's what I'm trying to figure out because
I don't know. We don't know that.
Right, but so the title of the beer doesn't really match the flavor of the beer, which is not a bad thing. There's nothing wrong with that, but I don't know how we came up with that.
You're correct, because I don't get like a donut flavor at all. But again, the coffee, that I like it. That,
and
to me,
you're just for everybody's, you don't drink coffee in the morning. You're not a coffee guy. So
it's kind of funny because coffee itself smells amazing, tastes horrible.
Right.
Now, coffee stouts I like, but coffee itself, I can't.
Right. Now, I do have a cup of coffee in the morning. I mean, I don't mind it. My wife drinks it straight black. She doesn't want it. Now, I've got to have a little bit of creamer in there, so I cut it. But I mean,
typically, if I'm going to have coffee, it has to be like, full of sugar, like the cappuccino.
Right.
The cappuccinos. Yeah. So where you don't taste the coffee. Yeah, that's my kind of coffee.
But I mean, so
like
I'm really impressed.
I'll have that. But.
Right. I mean, this is impressive. And I don't know how the Mexican donuts, I don't even know what a Mexican donut tastes like. And I don't know what spiced oatmeal tastes like. But whatever he did here.
He did a good job.
That's really good. I mean, this is
I am impressed. This is a good beer. Like I said before, it's almost perfect level of coffee. It's not over the top, but you can taste it. It's not too little, I mean.
And some of our friends out there that listen, they always talk about coffee and cigarettes.
Yes,
I mean, this is.
Yes, we have
somebody
a friend.
might say this, but it's not there.
We have a very good friend of ours that he drinks one style of beer, one company of beer, and that's pretty much it. And anytime we bring out a dark beer, he goes, "Oh, coffee and cigarettes." That's all. That's what he thinks they all taste like.
I think it might trip him up a little bit. I think he might actually like it. I think he might actually like it. So, what are you thinking about it? What are you thinking on stars?
Man, well, let me finish this. And what are you thinking?
Well, gosh, I hate to say it. I think it might be another 4.
I agree.
I mean, I don't know.
I agree. I would give it a 4. Yes.
Just because, I mean, I don't think we have done that in quite a long time. We're rating 2 beers from one brewery at a 4.
At a 4. And we have 4 more beers to go. And the next 4 are all dark, which is right in our wheelhouse.
Right. So we thought we were starting on the low end for this flight, but we actually started with some good beer.
Change the subject a second. I just looked up, and their lights here are hanging off of bicycle rims. I just noticed
good ambiance.
Yeah,
I mean,
so the brewery it also has like a restaurant on the side, and we are actually in the restaurant side because it's a little quieter. This is a really cool place. I mean, you have the historic building. Yep. If you look to over here, you can see where I'm guessing it was plastered over like red brick. The building's a red brick building, and they plastered over, and then you can see where the plaster has come off, and you can see the bricks.
They did a really good job fixing this up. I mean, it's very wide open.
Very much so. I mean, this is a nice play. I mean,
it'd almost be good to come back here in the summertime.
Yes. Single Speed has a brewery / tap room here in Waterloo and also in Cedar Falls. They have 2 locations. So if you're ever in the area, make sure to stop because this
we
place...
We found 2 good beers
already, and we have 4 to go. So, Jim, on the first flight, this is going to be tough. I mean... What do you think the top beer is? Because we got 2 that we gave a 4. We had the Coconut Migration double IPA, and then we had the Zach's Mexican Donuts. What do you think is the top beer so far of those 4?
I'm only picking this one because I'm more partial towards the Mexican Donuts because that's a stout. I'm not as good of an IPA drinker.
Correct. Yep.
So I would only lean that way. But I mean, you might lean it because I mean I know you've been liking the IPAs a little more, and that one is right up there. Well, up towards the top.
So you're going with Zach's.
Yeah.
I'm going to agree with you. I would say that the Coconut Migration double IPA was the most surprising beer I've had in a long, long time.
I mean, because for IPAs, was it one of your best IPAs that you've had? Because you've had a lot more than me.
It's up there. I mean,
and not even being a hazy IPA.
No, I mean, like I said, it is probably one of the most surprising beers I've ever had because going into it, I thought, oh boy, this is going to be hoppy. Yep. And it wasn't. It was wow. That's all I can say. But Zach's Mexican Donuts, I can sit and drink a lot.
Right. I'm very impressed. Without a doubt. I mean,
I agree 100%.
I mean, this is this is a 4 beer flight. We've had the other 2 have been 5 beer, but even less beer. More impressive.
Exactly. I mean, I'm totally impressed with the first 4 we've had. Even the Tricycle, we gave it 2.5, and the Party Town Pils, we gave it 2.5. But they're still very good beers. But compared to those other 2, they were head and shoulders above those first 2. So
those two we put at 2.5. Just only because I think their flavor was lacking a little bit. They did not taste bad. They were just a little bit lacking in the flavor.
Yep, I agree. And folks, I just realized I forgot to take a picture of that flight. So, you'll have to take our word for it. I will post pictures of the brewery, and we'll probably get a couple other beers when we go back into there. So we'll take some pictures of that to show you as well.
The next flight, picture what that is already.
They're all dark beers.
Dark and heavy.
They're all dark. You can imagine what that is. Let's move on to this one.
So we just got to take one off you said one of these, right?
Yes, so
two cows.
2 cows, and that is here. Okay, so we're going to do the second beer first because that is sacred.
All right.
Because the other 3 are Tip the Cow.
Okay. All the same.
Or actually, it's 2 cow is the one. Yeah, so that's, yeah. So we're going to do sacred first, and that is an Imperial Milk Stout, double barrel aged in bourbon barrels.
Nice. That is my wheelhouse.
You know what? We're going to save that one for last.
I was going to say that might be the higher.
That is the highest alcohol one we have. We've got the sacred is at 11.4%.
Yeah, that might be good to do
the
with the
2 cows, which is this one right here, that's 10.9.
Ooh.
So we're going to save that. We're going to go to the Tip the Cow. We have 2 versions of Tip the Cow. We have the coconut version and the vanilla bean.
All right.
So we'll start with the vanilla bean. It is 34 IBUs. They both are, and they're both 6.2%.
Okay.
The vanilla bean is Cocoa Espresso Milk Stout.
All right.
So we will start.
And they didn't have a big write-up for that one, did they?
This is because they have it's Tip the Cow Day section on their menu.
Oh.
So they have a number of different ones, and this one falls in that. And so it's 34 IBUs, 6.2%, Cocoa Espresso Milk Stout.
They must have found
smells
something
like coffee.
And they must have found something they liked, so they must have stuck with it because it looks like a few different variations they've got there. Oh, this is just the milk, or this is
the vanilla version.
Is vanilla bean. Okay.
Vanilla bean. I'm not getting a huge amount of vanilla. I do get some.
I'm
But
almost thinking it tastes just like the Zach's Donuts.
Is there a little? This one, the coffee's a little bit not harsh, but a little stronger, in my opinion.
Yeah,
I got to try it again because the vanilla I think is very subtle.
I was kind of hoping for a little more. I don't know. There's something.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's kind of.
It's not bad. It's not.
No, not at all. But
we're kind of just nitpicking, just so you kind of know out there what
at
we're
this
tasting.
Like I said, when we've tried thousands of stouts. That's our expertise is more stouts. And when you say, well, again, it's vanilla bean, but it says it's a cocoa espresso milk stout. It doesn't really say anything in the description about vanilla, but it's a vanilla bean. And well, of course, the toasted coconut one that we'll have next, it says the exact same thing too. I was expecting a little more vanilla.
Yes,
up front.
Yep. But again, not a bad beer.
No,
not kind of. It looks like they found a niche in that coconut espresso cocoa that they like to stick into. Because how many beers do you see under have that same?
There's probably 4.
And then the Mexican donut one.
Yeah, because folks, we did not get this beer, but we're probably going to try it later. They have a cocoa mint milk stout, so that one sounds interesting. So we may try that later. Back on topic, I guess.
So the vanilla bean, I guess, like for start, I think mid-3s.
I'd agree. I mean, again, it's good. The vanilla portion of it is a little bit lacking to me. You can get it a little bit at the end, but I'd say 3.34, 3.5,
3.4.
Yeah.
I mean, because it's definitely, again, folks, it's not a bad beer. We're just nitpicking a little bit, just so you know, we're trying to differentiate some of these.
Correct.
Because the taste is so similar. And now we're on our 4th flight today. So we're trying to make sure our taste buds are trying to separate all these things out too. So
correct.
I think we're doing a good job. We just want to try to let you know what we're trying to do.
So after that was the vanilla bean. So now the next one is the Tip the Cow toasted coconut. So this one is going to be interesting to see how it compares to the coconut migration.
Yep.
If it's like that perfect level of coconut or if it goes kind of sideways. Yeah. So
because he did a great job making that IPA.
Yes. Like I said, we applauded him or him or her, whoever the brewmaster is. Very good job. Okay, so now we're on the Tip the Cow toasted coconut.
And again, for whatever reason, this doesn't have a big write up. The brewmaster didn't discuss a lot on his paper, so I don't smell the coconut.
The coconut's very faint.
Yeah, there's a little
very faint.
Yeah.
Now, if you've never had, if somebody has not had a coconut beer, this would be a good one to taste.
Right.
To kind of initiate you.
Yes.
Definitely.
What's the ABV on this one again?
6.2.
So it's a little bit higher than just the regular
average
beer.
Yeah. I mean, you could drink a number of these.
Right. Not a bad flavor.
Like I said, the coconut migration definitely, if that was like...
Hit it out of the park.
If that was the perfect level of coconut, this one is definitely
a step down,
a step or two down.
Yep.
As far as the coconut goes, you can taste it, but it's just a little bit weaker flavor. I really wish there was more coconut.
Yep.
And I wish there was more vanilla in the first one. They're both still very good beers, but
they're not bad beers at all.
I was expecting them to be
right. We were spoiled when we took the coconut migration, and now we're trying their coconut one, and it's not quite at the same level.
Correct.
I mean, it's not knocking the beer. It's not saying anything bad. It's still that flavor. We're trying to tell you about the flavor we're tasting. So I think it's in that same 3-4 ballpark again.
Yep, I'd agree.
Or do you think even lower? Is about the
3-4, 3-5, anywhere in there. 3-4. We'll go 3-4. Like I said, it is a good beer.
Yeah, I mean,
but it's
and again, if you're just starting craft beer drinking, and you wanted to try a good stout, I think that's a good one. You're not going to get scared. You're going to be wanting to have a little bit more. Yep. And I think the next ones we're going to try are going to test us. Yeah. So I hope you got your big boy pants for these.
You have to have your big boy pants on.
This is not for the faint of heart.
Correct. So if you've never tried higher alcohol beers, we'll let you know what they are. So I'm excited for these.
Yeah,
so
I mean, this one almost looks like a shot of liquor because it doesn't even have any foam at the top.
Right. Yes, and that one, we're going to save that one for last. So the next one we have is Two Cows. All right. And that's this one here. That's the one we switched from the first flight over. And this is an imperial milk stout aged in bourbon barrels, 10.9% alcohol.
All right,
It does not say for IBU, so I'm sure the IBUs are very low.
Right, and
it smells like alcohol.
This is hopefully.
It smells like a big stout, like we're normally used to.
And we like the bourbon, so this should be right in my wheelhouse. Oh yeah, boy, I can smell that.
Brings back memories. The smell reminds me of Big Bad Baptist, some of the Goose Island. I mean, stuff like that, where it's the higher alcohol beers. They all kind of have that bourbon barrel smell.
Right. I mean, and your aftertaste is bourbon.
The aftertaste on this one is like alcohol gone.
Right. It's not bad. It doesn't last.
That part is not bad.
Right. But
the flavor is good.
But I think that it's not. I was kind of expecting a little bit more. I mean,
thank you.
It's just.
Yes. So the smell makes you think, oh boy, this is going to kick you in the teeth. Big bourbon barrel beer. And folks, if you've never tried a bourbon barrel beer, this would be one to try, because some of them, it's like, the flavor lingers a long time. This one does not.
True. You're right. The only thing that I'd say is a downfall is there's missing that flavor.
Correct.
I'm looking. Correct. I taste the bourbon.
Yep.
Which I like.
Initially, it's like bourbon gone.
But then there's nothing left for taste.
Correct. That's what I was saying. It's when you go through it and you taste it, the initial, once you swallow it, that initial is boom, the boom, there's the bourbon, and then gone. Where a lot of the other big beers we've had, that bourbon goes bam, and then it lingers. And
then there's another flavor.
It trails off.
Right, like some have the chocolate. You have that chocolate.
Correct. Or whatever. It's in there. Yes, chocolate is good.
But this one doesn't seem to have that, which is not a bad thing.
No.
I mean, I think, but we like a beer. I think we like the flavor. There's the extra flavor.
Oh, yeah.
We like a little more flavor.
Well, it's funny because we've, as far as bourbon barrel aged, beers over 10%, we've rated
several hundred.
Probably 600. I know it's at least 600 beers.
Right.
And that are over 10%. And this one, I mean, it's very good. I am not offended at all by it. It does need just a little bit more something.
Right. I mean, I just wish. I mean, I think if you put maybe the chocolate or coconut with it,
yes,
one or the other, just not both, just one or the other.
If they had coconut in this, at the level of that double IP, that'd be an amazing beer.
It might be up there towards the top of the.
It could. That would have been possibly one of the highest beers we've ever rated.
Right. I mean, because it's close. I think he's close. The brewmaster. I don't know if because you can tell he's tweaking some of his formulas.
Yep.
Maybe this might be one of the iterations where he comes out and tries that with one of these.
If he did, so if you're listening, sir or ma'am, I don't know who the brewmaster is, but Two Cows with toasted coconut, that could be a game changer. My opinion.
I think you're spot on there, buddy.
So for stars, what are you thinking?
Yeah, unfortunately, it's not the 4 range.
I agree.
It might be above the 3.
I'm thinking like a 3. Well, I'm thinking like a 3.6, 3.7.
Okay. Yep. Was that was 2 Cows?
That was 2 Cows. Yeah.
So 3.7.
3.7.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Okay. So now we've been saving this one for last.
Our number 8th beer.
Sacred Imperial Milk Stout double barrel aged in bourbon barrels.
All right.
11.4%.
Did you strap on for this one?
Honestly, I'm shaking.
Yeah,
We'll see what happens.
This is the one, folks, that does not have any foam at the top.
There was never a head on this beer when we got it.
I mean, it looks like right now, it looks like you're drinking a shot of...
It looks like motor oil.
And
used motor oil is what it looks like. Very dark. Oh, it smells. It smells like what we think it would smell like. Double barrel aged.
Yes.
You can smell both barrels in this one.
And again, that does not happen very often. Double barrel. I mean, usually they just use one barrel when they age these, but now the double barrel. I can't wait.
Boy.
Ooh, I can smell that.
That's got a little bit of a kick to it.
Ooh, my lips are numb. I started tingling.
It's got some power.
But again, it's
smooth.
Wow.
That does not.
Folks,
that does not drink like an 11.4%.
No, not this. Again, I think
beer could get you in trouble.
I would put this in my category of scary beers.
Correct.
Because it does not taste anywhere near the 11 point something percent.
11.4.
And if you drink a couple of these, you may not be able to walk out of here.
You know, we've had beers that have been 8-9% that are a stronger alcohol flavor than this beer is.
Oh, for sure.
And this is 11.4.
This is wow.
That's what your scary beer category, because you drink a couple of those, you're probably going to have a buzz going.
Yeah, I mean, this is, and again, you don't have any bad aftertaste.
No.
It doesn't. No. It's not overpowering. Because a lot of them, sometimes they cover that high alcohol sugar.
Yep. It is not
sweet. I mean, it's got the good. I mean, in my opinion, if he ever put like that coconut that he did with IPA, a little touch.
Oh yeah, if he had coconut in there, and it's funny that we're talking about coconut because normally we're not a big coconut group, but
the way he's done it,
yes,
he's onto something.
Yes, and if he did coconut in this beer, would be way up there. This would be on par to be one of the best beers we've had.
Man, I mean,
again, this is really good.
I'm very impressed.
I am too. Yes, again, yes, we're clapping for the brewmaster, whoever he or she is, because we don't know who they are, but very good. I mean, all 8 of these beers, a couple of them we gave a 2, or we gave what?
Average,
2.5. Average. The other ones were way above average.
Yes, I mean, and we haven't even rated this one, but I mean, he is going to be this brewery.
Well, I would say,
and we haven't even tried how many beers are on their tap.
We picked 8 of them, and they have way more than that on tap.
This is definitely a little golden gem right here.
Yes,
I mean,
if you're in Waterloo or Cedar Falls, make sure you go to Single Speed Brewing.
This is a good place to stop. I mean, this is a gem.
Oh yeah. You are not going to be disappointed. They have a wide variety of beers. They have food. The food looks amazing. We're going to try some after we get done here, and
the beers are great.
So, okay, before we get too far, what would you rate this beer?
Wow, 4.1?
I was going to say 4.2.
You want to go 4.2?
Let's go 4.2 on
all
this
right,
one.
yeah. I mean,
I think because it's very good.
I mean, because it's one of those scary ones again where I think you have to be careful because if you drink a couple of these.
Oh yes, yeah, you might be in trouble.
I mean, that is a good beer.
Folks. So right now, for here at Single Speed Brewing, what do you think the top 3 beers we had tonight were?
So for sure, I like the Sacred, and I like that Coconut Migration, and I think my number 3s are going to be tied: the Mex Donut and that double IPA coconut.
Well, the double IPA coconut was the Coconut Migration.
Oh, is that okay? I'm sorry.
Yeah. Yep. So you want to redo it?
So I was the Sacred.
Yep. Sacred was 1, and I agree with you there.
The Mex Donut and the Coconut Migration. So I think those were.
Yep. I can't argue with those. That's exactly what I was going to say. Was Sacred was 1. I'd have said Coconut Migration by a hair over the Zach's Mexican Donut. So that's my top 3.
Like a 4.01 and a 4.02.
Basically, that is 1, 2A, and 2B.
Right.
Very,
very impressive.
Exactly. On our entire Cedar Falls / Waterloo, Iowa beer extravaganza, my opinion, the way the 3 breweries we were at, I would say Single Speed is probably number 1.
Yes.
Number 2 was probably Lark.
Yep.
And then 3 was
Second state.
Second state, and 2 and 3 were extremely close.
Right.
Again, folks, we're just going off of our personal taste. Like I said, 2 and 3 are extremely close, and 1, I do think Single Speed was kind of head and shoulders above the other 2. But
sure.
all 3 were amazing.
We're worthy.
If you have not, we've been to other cities and been to a number of breweries in these other cities, and usually there's one that kind of, one that's really good and the other ones are not so good. Here, all 3 were very good.
Right.
If you went to any of the 3, you're not going to be disappointed.
Right. I mean, this is a nice gem.
Yes, but I would say Single Speed was the jewel.
I would definitely make sure you stop. I think it'd be worth us coming back here in the summertime to see if they change up their lineup or if they have something different. Come back.
I agree 100%. I hope everybody enjoyed our trip of Cedar Falls / Waterloo. And we're going to go and try a couple other beers, and we'll be back again. Yep. And awesome. So, you have anything else, Jim?
No, I mean, this has been a great trip. Thanks for inviting me, and I hope everybody listens and tries these beers.
Well, for sure. I hope if you do, make sure you come down to any of these breweries. And again, folks, you'll be hearing from Jim several more times. And we hope you enjoyed it. And until next time, have a good night. Thank you for listening to the Northwoods Beer Guy podcast. If you have a question, a comment, or a beer you'd like us to review, please feel free to send us a message at northwoodsbeerguy@gmail.com. You can also find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. If you're on Untappd, look up Northwoods Beer Guy and send a friend request. Until next week, I hope all your campfires are warm and all your beer is cold.